Richmond have showed a bit recently, but can they get a win as they go up to Gold Coast, who are a side that have really shown a lot of heart and a lot of intensity recently? St Kilda started the year so strong. They entertained the GWS Giants, who really personify hard work and endeavour. Who will get the win here? Two free-flowing sides in this one. The Kangaroos entertain the Doggies, who will come out top in this potential nail-biter. The Demons have been gritty of late, and they have to be at their best as they entertain the high-flying Crows. Who will get the win here in a matchup between experience and determination versus free-flowing footy? Finals on the line in this one for Carlton. Big game against Fremantle, who have really shown a lot of heart and intensity. Who can get the win here? Battle with the free scoring sides, the Lions versus Collingwood. Should be an absolute great game. Who gets the win here? And two bottom of the sides face off here, the Eagles versus the Cats. Who can get their win? Can Geelong finally get the win, or will West Coast get their second win? Hello everyone, welcome back to Pommyinoz. I hope we're all doing really well. If you are new around here, please drop a like, please drop a subscribe. It means the world. We're really encroaching 700. And if we can hit that by like the end of round one, that'd be sick. What we're doing today is we're actually in the middle of an absolute avalanche of content for you. So without any further ado, let's start the AFLW wrap. Richmond ended up beating the Gold Coast Suns by 15 at the start of the round, and they overcame a tough and resilient Gold Coast side on Friday night. They looked set to cruise home just before half-time with an absolute dominant display out of the centre, and also down back, stifling any attack that the Suns offered and turning it very quickly into an attacking set. But in the third quarter, the Suns really did show they've got a big backbone. They hit back hard and did threaten at times to get the win. Drennan was absolutely brilliant. She ended the game with 21 touches and 6 tackles. And Howarth again continues to impress. 18 touches and the 2 tackles. But in the end, the greater experience of the Tigers girls got them home. Brennan was sensational. She had 15 touches and took 3 fantastic goals. And they'll be delighted with the efforts as well of Conti. She was back to her usual best with 25 touches, and Hoskin again just really backing up that really impressive midfield that they've got going at the Richmond. She finished the game strong as well. In the end, both sides showed good signs and will both be looking to finish 2021 really hard. 2022 looks set to be a better year for the Tigers and also the Suns, but this was a big confidence boosting win for the Tigers and really sets 2022 up for them. Doesn't get any easier up next though for the Suns. They face the Carlton Blues on the Friday night, and they'll be hoping to be competitive and really just keep this industrious attitude going. The Tigers, they'll have another win in their sights. They've got the Eagles, and could be a really good finish for the Richmond girls and really tie them over. They're going places. I'm really impressed with them. Then Gold Coast, Levi with 2, Serman and Virgo with the goals for Gold Coast, and Brennan 3, Wakefield, Bernardi and McKenzie with the goals for Richmond. Best on, in my opinion, Serman, Levi and Howarth for Gold Coast, and Brennan, Conti and Hoskin get the chocolates for Richmond. Then we went over and we saw the Giants get up, mightily impressively beat the Saints by 20. And it was an impressive performance. They really ground out a win versus kind of a lacklustre Saints side at times. It wasn't the greatest of conditions, and the Giants' ability to work the ball hard, smart, was the big difference here. Staunton for GWS really took to the game conditions like a duck to water, pardon the pun, and she had 10 touches, 3 goals and 4 tackles, and a partner in crime, Privatelli, finished with 3 goals from her 11 touches. It was really about Parker's ball use though in the midfield. The superstar finished with 28 touches and 4 tackles. She was a constant cog in everything GWS did well. The Giants did have it all their own way though. The Saints did threaten in patches, particularly Van Dijk's energy off half-back, 14 touches for her, and Patriarchos, the young superstar, again was dominant, 27 touches and 10 tackles, and really worked the conditions well. Unfortunately for the Saints though, these were only a few of the players did where the GWS really adapted. They did work hard, the Saints, for little reward, and in the end, just the superior wet weather footy skills of GWS, playing the simple ball smarter, got the job done. Up next for the Giants is another winnable game as their late season surge continues with a trip to Geelong, and they'll look to put a number on their rivals and really build for next year. Whereas the Saints, they have a tough trip to the Pies, who lost this weekend. They'll hope to get something and really bounce back from this little slump they're in. Goals then, Sherlaw, Gutridge and Greaser for the Saints. Privatelli 3, Staunton 3 and Smith for GWS. Patriarchos, Phillips and Van Dijk best on, in my opinion, for Saints. Parker, Privatelli and Staunton for GWS. Kangaroos in the next game, they ended up beating the Dogs by 11, and this was an absolute great game, and North all but sealed their spot with a battling win versus a tough Doggies outfit that leaves question marks of their finals chances. The story of both sides of the year was really the script for this one. Roos girls coming out exceptionally quick and hard, and the Doggies girls coming home like a steam train. Roos had Kearney to thank, 21 touches, 6 tackles, 2 goals, and largely she did her work off the back of her midfield partner, Garner, who had 28 touches, 8 tackles and 2 behinds. They in the fourth were just literally bogged down at times, but they really impacted when they had to and killed the momentum when it was needed. The Doggies were resilient. Lamb again, 21 touches and 5 tackles, and Huntington was her usual dominant self up top, 11 touches, 2 goals too. But the difference really was the spread. The North girls have so many strings to the bow, can spread the load in many lines, and when they need to, they can also dog down. They can really play this game dogged. The Doggies are just, in my opinion, a year away from really breaking into the top 4, but they're always in it. They have a really good game style and it's really exciting. The experience, though, from the North girls told in the end. Up next for the Roos is a trip to potentially a game that will be adjusted due to COVID, and that's at the Gabba. They face the Free Score in Brisbane, where the Doggies, they have a tough trip to Adelaide to face the Crows. Goals then, Kearney 2, Bateman, Riddell and King for North, Huntington 2 and 2 good, with 1 for the Doggies. Best on ground, Garner, Kearney and Riddle for me for North, and the Doggies, Lamb, Blackburn and Huntington. Then we went to Melbourne. Melbourne ended up beating Adelaide by 28, and they put on a show here, the Demon Girls, and simply outplayed the enigmatic Crows with a display of control and grind, it has to be said. Their work in the contest was a particular highlight. They stifled the usual free-flowing ball movement that we've become accustomed to with the Crows, and their tackling pressure was a real highlight. And Paxman again, she had 21 touches and 9 tackles. Hanks, 25 touches and 5 tackles, as they really took the game to the Crows' coalfield. Marinoff and Phillips, as usual, were tough to beat, worked very hard. Marinoff, when she's up in flight, is one of the best players in this competition, and she finished with 24 touches and 9 tackles. And Phillips, 18 touches, but in the end, they just couldn't find the usual outlet ball. They found a lot of it, but it was just really ineffective, as the Demons tactically outclassed them from start to finish. What was a highlight was their inside 50s. They show calmness, they take their opportunities, and when it presents itself, they really hit it home. Hore was the beneficiary. She had 3 goals from her 19 touches. A special mention goes to Lampard down the back. She was like a backstop for these mids. Whenever the mids did miss the tackle, she was there, stopping quality ball coming in, stopping any usage, and really looking to set the ball up in transition. She finished with 21 touches for her day and was a thorn in the Crows' forward line throughout. Up next for the Crows is a tough game with the Doggies. This should be a good one though, because both sides will need the win and will hope to dust themselves down and return to the winner's circle. The Demons, they face Fremantle, and they'll hope really to take out 2 favoured scalps in 2 weeks. Melbourne goal scorers then, Hore 3, Zanker, Hanks and Pearce with a goal apiece. Randall and Martin the goal scorers for Adelaide. Hanks, Hore and Gay, Melbourne's best on, and Marinoff, Allen and Hatchard, Adelaide's in my opinion. Then we watched the Dockers beat Carlton by 4, and they broke Carlton's hearts at Icon and almost effectively sealed Carlton won't play finals this year with an emphatic comeback. And kind of now it's all in Carlton are hoping for other people to do them a favour. It was looking very bright for the Blues as they really took the game to Fremantle from the off. They came out of the blocks firing, playing quick, composed footy, and at times Fremantle just looked simply shell-shocked. Prespakis in the opening exchanges was absolutely phenomenal, but it was her opposite number that got the job done. Bowers, 28 touches and 10 tackles, and her team wrestled away control in the centre in the second half, and this was telling. Prespakis was pretty much ineffective from the second half on, which is kind of disappointing because at times the superstar forward Houghton was at the wrong end of Charlotte Wilson's absolute dominance down the back. Carlton girls did well. They did really fight hard till the fourth, but it felt like they ran out of legs. Harrington was a brick wall for the Carlton girls down the back, but Fremantle's just extra leg speed and just their grind and determination eventually swung the door open and they took it. It was a tough, heartbreaking loss for the Carlton girls. Some positive signs there, but It's a case in point with this AFL season in the men's and the women's. If you don't do the job at the start, you leave yourself a lot to do in the death of the season. Up next for the Carlton girls is an easy game really for them against the Suns. They'll hope to finish the year strong and put some pressure on the teams above them, where Fremantle, they go back home and entertain the Demons, which should be the tie of that round. Stevens with 2 goals, then Vesio, Harris, Gibbs and G with the goals for Carlton. Stewart 2, Duffy 2, Kane and Houghton for Fremantle. Best on then, Harrington, Stevens and Prosparkis for Carlton. Bowers, Antonio and Duffy, the Fremantle Dockers. Then we saw the Lions defeat the Pies by 3, and it was billed as the tie of the round and it lived up to it. It was the battle of the classy forward line and free-flowing scoring of the Lions, and it was an exciting and aggressive game, and it lived up to it as both sides displayed attacking intent from the outset, fast-paced and blustery conditions at Whitton Oval. Brisbane came out firing. They raced to a 13-point lead in the first and maintained it pretty much throughout that, but the Pies weren't to be outdone. They came home strong and they did have opportunities to win it at the death. Perhaps the most impressive effort though for the Lions was Fark, who sacrificed her game to really rein in Brianna Davey, who just couldn't break the tag in this game. Combine that with Anderson's 26 touches and they set themselves up really in the centre to really hurt Pies. Emily Bates set a tone for the Lions from the outset, 9 tackles and 13 touches, as the Pies were just under 4-quarter pressure. But the pressure the Pies showed as well was a testament to their system. They fought hard. Bonici, again 28 touches and 4 tackles. Lambert did everything she needed to do to wrestle the control back to the Pies. And although they went in with great effort, they will be disappointed they just couldn't get the job done. Lions had to fight hard to stave them off, and their ability to soak up the pressure and launch defence into attack is a real testament to their system too. Norda was sensational on the ruck. Her efforts stopped the Lions at best of times, and she finished with 17 touches and 4 tackles for the day. But in the end, that free scoring Lions side are tough to beat. They're a very hard side to pull back once they get ahead, and it's going to be tough in finals if they can play that way. Up next, Lions face North, and hopefully for them that should be a winner, and also at home, where the Pies, they host the Saints and should get back onto the winners ladder because the Saints have looked woeful recently. Goals then, Hodder, Campbell, Weschneiner and Sfark for Brisbane, Sheridan 2, Alexander and Lynn for Collingwood, Anderson, Bates and Sfark best on for Brisbane, Bonici, Norda and Lambert for the Pies. And finally we ended with the Eagles versus the Cats, and the Eagles got up by 39 and they were up and about as they overcame a Geelong Cats girl with ease in the final game of the round. With a great display of forward craft, and Eagles got that morale boosting win that they craved. It was set up in part thanks to Imara Cameron, 3 goals in an absolute blink of an eye early on in the game, and Geelong remain now on 0 wins. But the Eagles now get that second win, and it's 2 impressive wins, it has to be said. It was an even quarter until Cameron really brought the game to life, and once they got in front, their confidence grew and you saw it throughout the lines. Both Kelly's sisters dazzled, Nima Kelly finishing with 18 touches and 2 goals, and she was an absolute dynamo between midfield and forward. And her sister Grace impressed, 2 goals, and they were very well smart taken goals. Emma Swanson again was the pick of the bunch for the Eagles, 21 touches and 8 tackles. She won the tough ball and really allowed the Eagles girls to get control of the footy and take the game to the Cats. For the Cats though, it's the tale of what their year's been. Amy McDonald shined 24 touches, but again, she often shines and there's no one to support her. It's a tough year for the Cats, and honestly, they'll need to recruit well in the off-season. Find Amy that help, and it should get better quite quickly. They need some targets in that forward line as well, because when Amy does, quite often she's kicking to an empty forward line. Up next, the Eagles face the Tigers, and this should be an intriguing game. Both sides with 2 wins and both wanting to finish the year strong and gain some momentum coming into 2022. Geelong, they face the Suns, and they won't be feared for this one. If they can play well, it should be a very competitive game, and they'll hope to threaten that win column. West Coast then, the goal scorers, Cameron with 3, Kelly sisters 2 each, and Caulfield. Geelong, McDonald and Clark. And best on then, West Coast, Swanson, Cameron and Nima Kelly, Amy McDonald, Webster, and the other McDonald for Geelong. That's the AFLW wrap. Let me know in the comments what was your favourite game, what were your takeouts. Look forward to catching up with you soon. Pom out.